Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Rebecca. And today I am going to do this skincare tag that my friend Lauren from the Honest Beauty Review, I think she created. She is the first person I've seen do it, and it did sound like she kind of came up with it. But then of course, there's always the chance that someone else has made it, and you know, and we just don't know about it. So if that's the case, please comment below with that person's name, that channel, so that we can give credit where credit is due. But my inspiration is from Lauren's video, and I took her questions, and she basically just said she tags everyone, and I'm gonna do the same. I hope that more channels do this. I wanna see what Samantha March has to say. I wanna see what Stephanie Marie has to say. I wanna see what Lisa J has to say. Come on, Sarah Better Off Red. What do you think? Okay. Look at me go. Alrighty, I tag all of you. Okay, so basically I'm gonna go through the sort of questions, statements / categories that Lauren came up with. If you don't follow Lauren, I will link her below. Please go ahead and do so. She is awesome. She and I collaborated over the summer about skincare and layering, and she just has such an enthusiasm for ingredients. And so she's constantly breaking things down just by how effective they are, what is the science behind it. She's not a dermatologist or anything. She's actually a NICU nurse, if I understand correctly. And so she works in the medical field. So she actually has a lot of information on things like petroleum and barrier creams and, you know, stuff like that. So it's always interesting to hear her perspective. And I am a skincare enthusiast too, because I am 48 years old. I'm fighting anti-aging, you know, so I'm always looking for things that brighten the skin, tighten the skin, prevent wrinkles, correct pigmentation, fine lines. So also make pores look minimized, etc. I have dry skin, I have very sensitive skin, I have rosacea that I was diagnosed with from a dermatologist years ago that I've just been doing my best to keep under control. So this, my answers come from that experience, and here we go. So the first category is medical grade skincare. What do you think about it? And I think it's not real. So it is a fancy marketing term. There is nothing out there that will really make something medical grade versus over-the-counter commercial grade. Like if it's sold to any type of manufacturer and it's made in a factory and the FDA approves it for release or whatever, because I don't know what the skincare rules are for FDA, but it doesn't make any difference if there's nobody. A dermatologist, unless it's something that you can only get by a prescription, if you're buying it in a spa or a salon or even a medi spa, it's really just the same kind of ingredients that Johnson & Johnson can buy or Garnier can buy or Honest Beauty can buy. So that's the skinny on that. It sounds good though, and it's usually for when you buy it from a spa or a place that does treatments like IPL or Botox or laser of some kind, and they'll carry skincare that you just don't see at Nordstrom or Sephora. And I totally get that, and there can be a tremendous level of quality to that, but it's not. The word medical is very misleading. So, Pimple Patches, love them. Oh my gosh, I rarely use them, but having kids, teenagers, we swear by them. So my kids constantly go to bed with a pimple patch on their face. And I don't mean that like, sorry guys, I'm just kind of like tossing you under the bus for your skincare woes. No, but it's something that they use frequently. If they feel something brewing, then they'll put one on to sleep with. You know how sometimes you feel it feels like a bruise? Well, when they wake up, it can sometimes, you can see it's kind of like drawn things to the surface. It feels like it speeds up the life cycle of a pimple. I'm a fan. And you can wear them anytime. Sometimes you can wear them during the day out in public undetected. My daughter has worn one under her face mask before. So, I think it's amazing. I love it. It beats the fact when in the 80s when all we had was like Oxy cream to slap on a zit. Fragrance and skincare. No. I know that I feel, I sort of beat a dead horse about fragrance, and every time I talk about a product, whether it's a skincare product or a makeup product, and then I go, and it has fragrance, and oh no, it has fragrance. And I'm sure some of you feel like, okay, skip ahead, Rebecca, we get it, you don't like fragrance. And it's because it just adds an ingredient that can create irritation. And for some, it's important. My mom loves a fragrance in her skincare. She is old school, like give her Dior, give her a cream that smells good. And she loves that. And I get that. And sometimes that sensory experience is a whole element. And for me, it's even fragrant with like natural ingredients, it can become an irritant. And if it just says perfume or fragrance, we don't know what's in that. So maybe there's alcohol, maybe there's, a plant that is reactive. So it's just one of those things where it's like, it's just better without. Celebrity skincare. Probably my knee-jerk reaction is to say, nah, skip it. But because I've tried like the Cindy Crawford Meaningful Beauty and I didn't see any difference. I've heard good things about the JLo Beauty. I've heard really good things about Victoria Beckham's line. And I think a lot of people probably like the Gwyneth Paltrow stuff and Jessica Alba. So I think it's kind of a mixed bag. I mean, if you've got a makeup artist like Wayne Goss, like Pat McGrath, who comes out with their own makeup line because they've been in the industry for so long, they know what kind of, they know what elements, what materials they want to work with. They know what they've had in their kit that they were like, oh, if I could just have this or this, and then they create it, and that's great. And so if a celebrity who gets a constant treatment of estheticians and skincare and spa treatments and different things thrown on their face and they probably work with all kinds of experts, if they're realizing, you know what, I want to create a combination of all the things I've experienced, but what works for me and in my own spin, and put my label on it and make some money, that's no different. Here's the thing. When you've got a Kylie Jenner or a Florence skincare, Millie Bobby Brown, love Millie Bobby Brown. I feel like there just doesn't seem a whole lot of experience. It doesn't seem like you've lived long enough to know what your skin. I guess then it's just focused for teens. So it's target marketing, and it's always the niche of where that person is in the industry. And so I get it. I guess to me, I'll buy a JLo cream or a Victoria Beckham serum, I almost said cereal, before I buy Kylie or Millie Bobby Brown. Anyway, so K-Beauty, love it. I don't know if you're new, maybe you didn't realize that, but I love K-Beauty. I have been fascinated by it for, I don't want to say, oh, well, I was totally in on it before it was popular, but I have been shopping at my Asian grocery store, and I've been shopping from websites. I actually got Asian skincare products from one of my health food stores near where I grew up when I was a teen in my 20s. So it's amazing. Clean beauty to me, pretty much like the medical grade skincare. It's a marketing, and it's important for so many reasons, but it's a trap. So clean beauty, you know, it can mean cruelty-free, or I hope it does. And I guess my problem with it is because if we're going to kind of demonize things like mineral oil and petroleum that are perfectly safe, then, you know, it's just, yeah. You're going to make something sound awful when it's harmless. And if you want to talk medical grade skincare, petroleum. And Lauren will tell you, as a nurse, she's like, the uses of mineral oil and petroleum in the medical community is way more than, you know, you're not going to see Centella asiatica. I think for me personally, clean beauty comes down to sustainability. It's where is this ingredient from? Who's farming it? Who are they? How is it for the environment? How is it for the person who is the area that the crop exists in? Or, you know, is the packaging clean and sustainable? So I think there's a lot to it, and I think that it's something really good to incorporate in terms of all those elements. But like I said, if we're going to also kind of turn it on its head and make it like other stuff is bad when it's perfectly harmless, that's when I have a problem with it. With that said, if mineral oil and petroleum are done in a unethical or non-sustainable way for the environment, then yes, I get that. I get that that is not clean with what I just said, but I also want to say it's not dirty. I mean, what's the opposite of clean? Dirty. So it's not like if you're using these ingredients, all of a sudden you're like poisoning your skin, is kind of the other argument I want to. Okay, 12-step skincare routine. I don't even know what that is, so I'm going to say no, I'm not for it. Lauren was like, no, who has time for that? I think if you want to do that, great. I think I probably already do that in some ways, some shape or form on certain days anyway. But I don't see needing to do something like that consistently, and I feel like we're just during a pandemic and economic and financial crisis and global warming. I mean, like, what the, but it's okay. It's okay. There's a time and a place for everything, and if that works for people, then that's totally fine. I'm not against it for them. I'm not going to hop on board with that. I don't think that you need to do that to get results. I think you need sunscreen. I think you need to wash your face. I think, so speaking of washing face, AM cleanse. Yeah. I'm for it. You know, if I'm probably one of the candidates of people that someone would say to not do it. Like, oh, you have dry skin, Rebecca? Don't wash your face in the morning. I've said time and time again, I just do a gentle rinse with a light cleansing, like Cetaphil, CeraVe, Vanicream. I just like to get the oil and stuff off from the night before. And yeah, I just like a fresh start. Micellar water. I love it. I remember it was a Bioderma. I think that was my first bottle of micellar water I ever used years ago, and I thought it was amazing. It just works so well on eye makeup, but also what I like about it, I was using it wrong when I first used it. I was using it as the initial makeup remover. I was just like taking micellar water for days to just try to get all my makeup off and then wash my face. And I realized it's actually just a great finishing step. So like melt your makeup off, double cleanse, and then take micellar water and just kind of take off the residue of mascara or that little bit of lipstick that doesn't come off, or sweep it across your cheek and see if you've got any leftover foundation, and that kind of thing. So that's how I look at it. Physical exfoliation. Well, I'm not a person that does that. I definitely, old school for me was St. Ives scrub. I used that in high school, probably to my skin's detriment. And then I moved on to Clinique in my 20s. I was a Clinique girl. I sold Clinique at the Clinique counter. And we were the Clinique, I don't know what the philosophy is now, but it was exfoliate, exfoliate, exfoliate. And it was all about the toner. So you're talking like liquid exfoliants, and then physical scrubs, the 7-day scrub cream. Oh my gosh. We were like, it was like required. It was required. So it just, I don't like it. I'm not a scrub person, but I do like a rice scrub, or like the Good Molecules granular. Like, there are some granular scrubs that are so gentle out there. I'm totally fine with. And I think it just comes down to a preference, but everything in moderation. Moisturizer over SPF. So when I think this comes from, there's like these publications, there's these, articles about, do you put on your physical sunscreen and then a moisturizer on top of that? Do you put on your chemical sunscreen, chemical sunscreen and then a moisturizer on top of that? Or do you put on, and it's like, so I guess the whole concept is how much it penetrates the skin, but then the risk being, are you breaking down this SPF with a moisturizer? And so I think that is the predominant problem with adding moisturizer on top of sunscreen, is that depending on the ingredients in the moisturizer, you might break down the sunscreen. So I'm just like, I think of sunscreen as my last layer between my skin and makeup. And so that's what I'm always about, moisturizing and then letting that kind of give it a minute, and then SPF, and then give that a few minutes, and then makeup. Eye cream. I benefit from eye cream, so I'm going to say yay. I love an eye cream. Eye creams can be completely unnecessary if you look at the ingredients and they're not really effective, and you could just use a regular moisturizer for the same thing. But then sometimes an eye cream, I think, is really helpful. I think it's interesting that Paula's Choice used to always say eye creams aren't necessary, and now they sell eye creams. I think that's a money thing. So I think it really is down to a preference. I will say this. I wasn't using an eye cream until my 30s. And actually, and it was after I had a baby. And then my mom literally showed up one day to help, with the baby. And she pulled out an eye cream and she goes, "Here, you need this." And I was like, oh, okay. And she was right. So I think anything that helps with brightening, puffiness. Yeah, so I feel like I benefit from an eye cream. Peel off masks. Love them. They're so satisfying. However, anytime you see a trend on social media and it's kind of out there for shock value, be wary of it. So people are doing like glue, like it was always the thing to put those masks on and then peel them off and watch people grimace in pain and cry out, and that's not good. You don't want to do that. You don't want to rip your skin. You don't want to, a lot of times that's hair, but nothing should hurt that you're doing at home for your face. It shouldn't hurt. Facial mists, love them, but I use any without alcohol. So facial mists can be drying, can be completely useless if you're using something that is just about the fragrance, or it has alcohol in it, or some other kind of menthol, peppermint, something in it, like, ooh, revitalizing. it can wreak havoc on your skin. But for me, a facial mist that is hydrating, then I am all for it. Hyaluronic acid, yes. If you live in a dry climate, hyaluronic acid may not help you because it's pulling water from the air, but always put your hyaluronic acid on, like on damp skin after an essence, a facial mist, right? So it's really, it's a wonderful thing. I mean, I love it. So it adds the hydration that you don't always get just from a regular cream or moisturizer. It's kind of that for the face. So I love it. Natural products. I mean, that is all. I have no problem with natural products. I just have to check labels and see what's, something that's so natural that it doesn't have a shelf life and it molds. Please be careful of DIY stuff and things that are sold on Etsy. You just got to be careful of that. But natural is great. I just read ingredients, so I'm not putting anything that is irritating. My mom has like ragweed and other allergies. So, in the 90s when natural was really starting and you could buy like these creams with different plants in them. Oh my God, she was having allergies because she couldn't use some of the plant extracts that they were putting in their products. I use CeraVe, right? So I think, I don't know, chemicals are great. I love chemicals. And I love natural. I know that's a non-answer answer, but I mean, yeah. And speaking of chemical sunscreen, it's awesome because physical sunscreen is great too. However, if a person isn't wearing sunscreen because they don't like the way it sits on their skin or they don't like the way it sits under their makeup, then I say, a chemical sunscreen is better than no sunscreen. So if you're a purist and you're not wearing sunscreen because you don't like a chemical sunscreen, then you might not be doing yourself any favors because skin cancer is kind of not fun and awful. And I know people my age who have it because they did tanning beds as teenagers. So it's real and it's dangerous. So chemical sunscreen, awesome. If you're going to wear it, and I know that there's always like an article out there that says what's the safest, and I think that we're doing okay with, I think, what was it, PABA or something? It's like, that was the buzzwords of the early 2000s, like had to be PABA free. Sunscreen on your face, chemical sunscreen, is not a bad thing in my book. So I use both. I mean, I think the sunscreens I use have a combination of different chemical and mineral/physical UV blockers. Alrighty, so that's everything. Oh my gosh, that's exhausting, and I'm so sorry if this was forever. And I love talking about stuff like I love just, giving all my opinions. I'm such a Leo. Like, just listen to me and hear my wisdom, right? I know. So that there may be things you disagree with. There may be some things that you like go, what? No, Rebecca, no. And that's okay. This is all just good discussion, and it's not meant to be any type of controversy. It's just, this is what I feel like, and I don't feel like anything I'm saying is polarizing enough. Alrighty, well, I hope you enjoyed this. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Please hit that notification bell and give this video a thumbs up. Go say hi to Lauren. And if you are a creator and you're watching this, I want to hear your answers. So let us know when you post it. And that's everything. I hope you're having a good day, and I'll see you later. Bye.